So, what do you want to talk about? How about Ann Taylor and the fact that she's complete trash and garbage as a lawyer, and she's going to be the reason Bryan Kohberger gets sent down the river? I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Let's get into it.
Bring it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is thejbgunner, and you're privileged to be watching Crime Time with thejbgunner. Before we get into this story, I want to say thank you. After 18 years on this platform, it's you, the Gun Squad, to keep this thing going. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, regardless of the platform you support, the channel you support. You guys are who makes this happen. If you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Join the Gun Squad today. Let's do this another 18 years. You know what I'm saying. But we're going to go ahead and jump into this story, because what we're going to be talking about is this bitch that you see right over my shoulder. Her name is Ann Taylor. Now, recently, we had a hearing in the Bryan Kohberger, IDAHO 4 case, and basically what this is about is change of venue. For you guys that do not know, Bryan Kohberger is being charged with the 4 homicides in Moscow, Idaho, in late 2022. And this case has now been going on, since January or December of 2022. So here we are in April of 2024, and it does not look like we're going to have trial until summer of 2025. So we got a long time to go with this thing. And I personally have came out here and said that I've always said this, by the way. You'll never see a single video in which I said Ann Taylor is a good thing. Why? Because I've been through the system. I am perfectly understanding of what public defenders do, what their goals are, and in general, the fact that they work for the very same state that's trying to prosecute you and get you thrown in jail. And that is exactly what is occurring with this Bryan Kohberger case. Now, there are a lot of idiots, yes, I'm talking to you, the goobers. There are a lot of idiots that for some reason believe that Ann Taylor is somehow different than any other public defender on this planet. Anyone that's ever been through this system already knows what a public defender does. Their job is to essentially get the plea bargain and close out the case. Public defenders' entire career isn't dependent on their win-loss record as a lawyer. They're not a private attorney. They're not an attorney that you, the client, are paying. This is an attorney paid for by the state. Let's just call it what it is. It's almost as if let's look at it as like sports. A private attorney is the major leagues. A public defender is essentially amateurs. And I know what you're saying. No, she has all this experience. Yes, she does. Being taught by the state. The same exact office that pays her pays the prosecution. And any of you guys that do not understand this, that do not comprehend this, and you think that somehow this particular lawyer is somehow different, all you have to do is watch the case. And if you watch the case like I watched the case, you will see the constant mistakes and the constant direction that she takes that is ultimately going to be bad for Bryan Kohberger. Let's go ahead and get into this, though. Let's go ahead and take a look, because some of you guys will not understand it until you fucking see it, because, you're goobers. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Judge chastises Bryan Kohberger's attorney, over phone survey to potential jurors. Now, I want you guys to understand something here. This dumb bitch, Ann Taylor, she went out and she took a survey of 400 people in Moscow. Now, a lot of you dummies on the internet, you were like, because when there was 400 witnesses, you were like, oh my God, they live streamed the murders. Get off the internet, fag. Get off the internet, loser. You genuinely think, because there's 400 witnesses, and I saw it in the comment section. I see it all over the place. You people literally believed that because there was 400 witnesses, that there was 400 witnesses to the crime. And you guys, by your own logic, said that means it was live streamed. You guys are fucking stupid, man. Particularly in crime. That's why sitting at home eating flaming hot Doritos, watching motherfucking crime TV doesn't make you in any way intelligent or knowledgeable about criminal cases. For the most part, just like with anything else, To be knowledgeable about something, you have to experience said thing. In some situations, you can read about it, study about it, and learn about it, but for the most part, book smarts, when it comes to something, which most of you don't even have that, is in no way comparable to actual experience. That is why I believe I'm the best in the world at this shit. And that's why I'm rarely wrong. Because experience teaches you about these situations. And currently, my experience, throughout many cases, will tell you that a public defender is complete trash. And we'll take a look. We'll continue. So the judge chastises Bryan Kohberger for this thing. Let me pull this down here and get to the case itself. Sorry, guys. It's been a few days off. The judge overseeing Bryan Kohberger's quadruple murder case lambasted the suspect defense attorney. By the way, to get into it with the judge, which she did, is just dumb. Let me make this very clear to you. You know, let me give you an example. You know how a lot of you Trump haters, you say, and you guys don't think this through. You know how a lot of you Trump haters are like, Trump is mocking the judge and shit, and it's going to come back and haunt him. And here's the reality. It might. Because it is a dumb thing to mock or get into it with the very person who makes decisions about the very case you're fighting against. But here's the thing. If you would have listened to the court case the other day, you would have heard Ann Taylor basically say she visits the prosecution every week. These motherfuckers hang out together. The prosecution calls her Ann, not even Miss Taylor. Did you catch that? He calls her Ann. He doesn't call her Mrs. Taylor. They're on first name basis because they're friends, dummy. Because they work together. They come out the same office. But anyway, let's get back to this for the dummies. Defense attorney Ann Taylor had a sharp accusation of her own, saying the judge violated her client's right to due process by ordering a stop to the anonymous survey without hearing the defense's side first. But guys, I want you to understand something. Do you understand this dumb dingy bitch did this survey and didn't even tell the survey takers that there's a non-dissemination order, that there's a gag order on the case? Do you understand that's what she was being admonished for? And what this dumb bitch did was put forth a survey that basically filled the public's head with a bunch of the very same shit that she thinks makes the trial unfair. The survey literally asked, did you know that there was a car that they claimed to be Bryan Kohberger's? Did you know that a knife sheath was found with DNA? This isn't Bryan Kohberger's fucking lawyer. This is his doom. This is Ann Taylor is not helping Bryan Kohberger by polling the audience, by polling potential jurors saying, did you know all this shit they had against Kohberger? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because a lot of these people may not know all of that. They may not have read the PCA. But Ann Taylor, through her phone survey, is inserting this knowledge into their minds. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think it's intelligent for your lawyer to poll potential jurors and say, did you know they had all this shit on my client? Because that's what happened. That's what happened. And she's doing this with an attempt to later be like, see, they're biased. No, because you're making them biased. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't be biased. But here's the truth. No, whether it's in Moscow or any other place, the court of public opinion is already against Bryan Kohberger. And that's a sad thing. He's not going to get a fair trial no matter what. But I want you to think about what Ann Taylor has really pushed for in this case. She wanted the case thrown out because the grand jury wasn't proven without a reasonable, without a single doubt that Kohberger did it. I want you to understand where all of her energy has went on. It has went on that, the trying to get the grand jury thrown out, and now this change of venue. At what point in time are you going to come out here and put forward something of relevance, like an alibi or anything that can actually help Bryan Kohberger beat the case? Because that's not what she's doing. She's trying to do technicalities here and there. But the reality of this is she's not trying to beat the case. And I don't think she's going to. I think ultimately she's going to wear this down to the end and then ask for a plea bargain. I think Bryan Kohberger is fucked because he's got this stupid bitch. And then there's so many of you that's rooting it on. Yeah, Ann Taylor, yeah. She's not, you don't understand, JB. This is a different kind of public defender. You're a fucking dummy. You're a fucking dummy if you believe this public defender is somehow different than the rest of public defenders on earth. You're a fucking dummy. Let's get back to the goddamn news. The courtroom drama marked another unexpected turn in the case against Kohberger, who's accused of fatally stabbing him before. We already know. Kohberger's defense attorney said the phone survey was an important part of her efforts to seek a change of venue for Kohberger's trial, given the vast amount of local media coverage on the case. Let me show you exactly what we have here. Let me pull this shit up. Here we go.
We've been working very, very hard to keep the sort of noise out of the case. And now it's been injected, at least to these 400 people.
Yeah. I want you to think about that. Because the judge is telling her, look, the entire point is that we're trying to give Kohberger a fair trial, and now you're calling people literally on the phone, you dumb, stupid whore. You're calling people on the phone, you dumb whore, and telling them all this shit when there's a gag order on the case, you dumb, stupid whore. And you guys think this is good strategy.
The defense team for the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students was scolded by the judge in the case.
It comes after they were accused of tainting potential jurors in a phone survey.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Question. Have you read, seen, or heard if police found a knife sheath on the bed next to one of the victims?
Listen.
Have you read, seen, or heard that DNA found on the knife sheath was later matched to Bryan Kohberger?
Those are some of the questions in a phone survey issued to 400 people living.
Come on! Man! Hey, did y'all hear there was a knife sheath? Hey, did you know that the DNA on it was matched to my client, Kohberger, who's innocent? What? And so many of you people sing the praises of Ann Taylor. She's garbage. She's trash. Bryan Kohberger is going to fucking lose even though they don't have shit on him. Because you and other people have somehow convinced Kohberger that this bitch is the way to go. His parents have turned on him. Nobody is putting up the money to get him a real lawyer. And Bryan Kohberger is going to lose because of this. It's the truth. And it hurts me to say it because I genuinely, as someone that, if I was in the jury, I would not say guilty. And the reason is because you haven't shown me that he's guilty. But Ann Taylor, I have to admit, if I'm just sitting at the house and I get a phone call, hello, hey, survey time. Do you know that all of this evidence was found against Kohberger? Well, fuck, maybe Kohberger's guilty. Fuck it. Do you see the point? This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
In Latah County, Idaho, where 4 college students were found stabbed to death.
Nobody's injecting anything into the case. A random small percentage of the population is contacted.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys hired an outside company to conduct the survey as they worked to make a case to move the trial to another county.
This survey was never intended to do anything but identify issues within this county to support or defeat our argument for venue change.
Prosecutors say they don't have a problem with a survey, but they do have an issue with some of the questions.
Yeah, I got a fucking issue with the questions. Here's what's crazy. It's fucking stupid that the prosecution is making a better case for Bryan Kohberger's rights than Ann Taylor. Because the prosecution is saying, look, man, the questions you're asking is turning the potential jury pool biased against Kohberger. The prosecution is saying, hey, Miss Taylor, we got to think about Kohberger's rights here. And Ann Taylor's like, fuck it, I got a plan. It's a dumbass plan. It's a dumbass plan.
Asked.
It is creating bias against Mr. Kohberger.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. Thank you, Bill Thompson. Goddamn.
Also inadmissible evidence. That's outrageous.
The state claims they also violated a previous order by the judge that limits case details being shared with the public.
Yeah.
Doing these surveys is not an anomaly. This is something that's done in these high-profile cases.
You're a dumb bitch. There's a gag order. You dumb bitch.
Kohberger's defense attorney says she did not see the questions and the survey
Right.
company created them based on media coverage. However, she did acknowledge the company did not know about that order.
She didn't tell the company about the gag order.
Him no information in the case, Your Honor. He received nothing from this.
Now, prosecutors are asking the judge to make the defense start from scratch.
No
If
shit.
they wish to continue with the survey, start over and submit questions to the court to make sure that
Kohberger's starting to look old over there, ain't he?
we aren't getting ourselves back into a similar situation.
The judge did not make a decision today. There will be another hearing next week. Until then, the defense team cannot continue surveying people.
No.
And you
It
can
looks like they can't. And I mean, that's obviously a good fucking decision. Makes, I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy when you think about this. By the way, let me show you guys this magical bullshit. Bryan Kohberger prosecutors find game-changing audio recording. Can't make this shit up, right? You can't make this shit up. Prosecutors in Bryan Kohberger's Idaho murder case said this week they found a game-changer audio recording that related to possible jurors in the case. According to Lewis's Tribune, Bill Thompson spoke about surveys and said that his team received information about them from police, including a game changer, audio recording, about what was asked during the survey. So they got the audio recording of the fucking survey, and the police brought it to his attention. And this dumb bitch sat here and fought with this judge throughout this entire situation.
So the defense have done is they have gone out and interrogated 400 citizens of Latah County. That is reckless conduct, and it's outrageous.
Outrageous.
Fighting words in Bryan Kohberger's case after the defense reached out to potential jurors as they try to get a change of venue.
There are two things that have happened without me being able to even weigh in that's done when the prosecutor asks you to do something. And I don't like that. I want to have opportunities to be heard.
And the judge, not happy after Kohberger claims he violated his rights.
I told you that I was going to set a hearing. So I don't know what your understanding is with
Don't worry about her, Judge. She's just a dumb bitch.
just the process.
Thanks for joining me for Crime.
Look, man, there's just all kinds of shit that's going on here. And it doesn't stop there. Oh, let's go here.
On the night of the murders. Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger stalked one of the victims?
You hear that question?
Yes.
Have you seen, read or heard that Bryan Kohberger stalked one of the victims? Guys, this is outrageous. Here's the truth about this. For all of you pro Ann Taylor people, you got to admit that you're fucking wrong. Nobody watching this case can think that Ann Taylor is doing anything worth the fuck. The directions in which she's going with this case is fucking stupid. She hasn't got all the discoveries. She's not, yes, they're filing motions, but every single time we see her in court, she's arguing something fucking stupid, something completely different. Why on earth would you do a survey like this, reminding the public of all the things that's against Kohberger, and think that, and then you're gonna be like, see how they all know all this shit? Now we need to change the venue. No, what you're doing is you're wasting time, you're stalling, and in the end, you're doing it because you're making fucking, what is it, $2,000 a week? Is that what it was, $2,000 a week, some shit like that? She's gonna stall this thing out all the way to 2025 into the summer so she can keep getting paid, while in the end, she's gonna sell Kohberger down the river like every public defender does. And then, of course, like I said, you dummies are going to be like, no, she's a great public defender, JB. She's different. No, she's not. She's fucking horrible. And anyone that watches her in action can clearly see it. And then if you can't, it's because you're being delusional. And you're being delusional thinking that everybody is on Kohberger, everybody that's on Kohberger's side is really on his side. His family has turned on him. They won't get him a paid lawyer. He's sitting there facing a death penalty with a public defender. And I got some bad news. I'm afraid I got some bad news. They're going to put that man to death. And that's the truth in this case. Now, I used to think it was going to be fair, but clearly over this time, period, I have seen the dirty tricks played against Kohberger by not only the state of Idaho, but by the media, and now ultimately by his own public defender. Bryan Kohberger is cooked. He's done. And it's a shame because I would really like to see him get a fair trial. And I don't think he's going to get one because I don't think he has a lawyer that can get him one. She's not even making it fair for him. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Curious what you guys think. If you guys like what I do here and you find my content valuable, hit the links down below. Support the channel. Curious what you guys think about this. I think Ann Taylor is complete garbage. Holla at you.